If you enjoy what you hear here today, please consider supporting me on my Patreon page. Every dollar helps, and you get to see content that you won't see here. Chapter 20 Aftermath. Canterlot. Celestia was quite enjoying her morning tea. It hadn't been too long since she raised the sun, and after some early morning duties, she was finally able to just sit in her personal tea room and enjoy a steaming cup, served alongside a generous slice of chocolate cake. She really liked cake. It was something her little sister loved to tease her about, commenting on her weight constantly just to elicit a reaction. Not that her comments were ever true. Between an alicorn's metabolism and the occasional spell here and there, Celestia kept her image as the picture of equestrian beauty. That didn't stop Luna, however. Their banter was an eternal struggle that would last until the end of time itself. And then perhaps they would bend time just to keep going afterwards.
Don't be dramatic, Tia.
Celestia inwardly groaned. Speak of the devil, and he, or she in this case, shall cometh.
Dramatic? How did you know what I was thinking? When you think you're alone, you wear all of your thoughts on your face,
Luna stated before a smirk graced hers.
That, and I know you far too well. We are sisters, so I would hope so,
Celestia responded, rolling her eyes.
But why are you here now, so early in the morning? It is not that early, Luna retorted. But I needed to speak with you about the team that was sent up to the Hive.
Celestia raised an eyebrow.
What about them?
Luna paused for a moment, mulling over her next words. Celestia, for her part, just sat patiently and took a sip of tea while Luna compiled her thoughts. Luckily, Celestia didn't have to wait overly long before Luna had decided what to say, and how to say it.
Every night I enter the realm of dreams,
Luna began.
I am aware, Celestia said. What of it? I'm getting to that,
Luna scolded before continuing on.
Last night I decided to see if I could locate the dreams of those within Twilight Sparkle's group. Any of the 23. 24,
Celestia corrected.
Remember Cadence's letter? The one where she vented about shining armor sneaking on board Twilight's transport. Ah, yes.
Luna grimaced.
I never knew Cadence could use such foul language in that much of a capacity. The words pissed off don't even come close, I fear. I feel almost sorry for Prince Armor, although he did bring it upon himself. Indeed,
Celestia agreed, not hiding her smirk.
Anyway, did you locate them?
Reluctantly, Luna nodded.
Yes, I did. It is not always easy to locate and enter dreams, especially ones so far away. They were patchy. I think they were taking it in turns to sleep. I wasn't able to delve into their dreams too much, but what I saw was confusing. Confusing? It was a flurry of images from all 10 of them, the different times they slept. Each nightmare was chaotic, the images undecipherable, except that it was horrible. Something bad has happened to them. 10,
Celestia said, hoping that Luna had simply made a mistake.
Did you just say 10? Yes. I could only find 10 dreamers among the group. Could they have simply not dreamt? Every pony dreams when they sleep,
Luna rebutted.
No, there were only 10 who slept. The others may have simply remained awake, or something else happened to them. I fear the latter scenario may prove true, given the content of their dreams. Who were among the 10?
Celestia asked, fear lining her voice now.
At Twilight?
Luna started off, causing Celestia to give a sigh of relief.
3 of Twilight's changelings, Spike, Broadsword, and 2 of his subordinates, Vladimir and Shining Armor. Are you certain there were no sign of the others?
Celestia asked.
You said it yourself. It's not always easy to locate the dreams you seek. They would have been in the same cluster, Luna stated. No, the other guards, Captain Scorpion included, as well as the 3 pilots, are all unaccounted for.
Celestia sighed.
This is grave news. I have to wonder what they are doing now that the day has risen once again. That I cannot be certain of, Luna said regretfully. I wasn't able to ascertain much aside from what I have already told you.
The Princess of the Sun nodded, staring down into her half-empty cup of tea. It was swirling around the cup quite gracefully, something she quite enjoyed observing as she drank. This time, however, it was bringing her very little comfort.
Tea, Luna?
The young Growlicorn shook her head.
No, thank you. Tea is more your domain. Right. You prefer ale, Celestia teased. I remember back when we took the throne, when I was in my early 20s and you were in your teenage years, moving from town to town in the earliest days of Equestria under Queen Platinum, and how you so loved to prove your dominance in drinking contests.
Luna puffed out her cheeks, which Celestia only found adorable.
That was a long time ago! I was a mere child!
Celestia chuckled.
Not that it matters. I remember joining in and then winning more often than not. You would always cheat,
Luna argued.
Did you think I would not notice those spells to increase your resistance to alcohol?
Celestia placed false shock on her face.
Me? Cheat? Why, I am most offended, dearest sister.
Luna's eye twitched, but then she took in a deep breath and waved it off.
If you say so, but Discord put a quick end to those days. Where is the trickster, anyway? No idea, Celestia responded. Last I saw him was a week ago. He was telling me an interesting tale of 2 chrysalises. Twilight's mother? One of them was,
Celestia said with a smirk. Any further questions on the subject were interrupted by a sudden explosion of green flames. Those flames quickly died away to reveal a scroll, which fell onto the table in front of Celestia. Luna studied the scroll.
Spike? I would guess so,
Celestia stated, taking the scroll in her magic and quickly moving to read it. Luna could tell the news was grim. Celestia's face said it all. The elder sister read through the scroll multiple times, just to make sure that what she read was the full truth, making sure she hadn't missed anything. Of course, she hadn't.
You were correct, Luna,
Celestia muttered.
The 10 you detected were the only survivors. The rest perished.
Luna sighed.
I had feared as much. Anything else? Queen Draco is dead.
Luna's eyes widened.
Twilight's friend. One of the missing changeling queens. The very same,
Celestia confirmed.
The letter is light on the details, but Spike says they lost their entire convoy and need an emergency evacuation. Luna, could you please see to it that a force of EUP helicopters are sent up there immediately?
Luna nodded.
I can do that.
The Princess of the Night left without another word, urgency in her movements. Celestia stared at the scroll a moment more, before placing it down and sighing.
Celestia, you fool. Duties be damned, you should have gone with them.
She mentally berated herself, angry at her own folly. All the while, her tea sat in front of her, slowly going cold. But she cared not. She would find no more enjoyment in her morning tea this day. The Northern Forest. Queen Twilight and her downtrodden group all sat by the twisted, metallic hulks of the very transports in which they had arrived. The graves of those they had lost sat a short distance away, and they all couldn't help but glance towards them every now and then. There had been no more signs of the changelings that had once been a part of Queen Draco's hive, all of them having seemingly given up the chase. They had settled down in the clearing where they had crash-landed, waiting for a pickup. All they could do in the meantime was wait, and watch for any sign of danger to return. Thus far, it had all been quiet. Then they hoped it would stay that way.
"The message is sent,"
Spike stated, sitting down next to Twilight.
"The princess is coming for us."
Twilight nodded.
"She will." "I'm just eager to get back to Canterlot,"
Spike stated.
"A shower would be real nice right about now,"
was Twilight's simple response. She studied the regalia in her hooves with a hateful glare.
Twilight, do you want to talk? I'm here if you need to." "I don't,"
she growled, the anger in her voice causing the dragon to flinch back. Twilight sighed.
"Sorry, Spike, it's just... this wasn't meant to happen this way." "Things rarely go to plan,"
Spike said.
"Well, whoever is behind this is going to pay,"
the Changeling Queen stated as a simple fact.
"She will beg for the fires of Tartarus by the time I'm done. And that prison is a far kinder fate."
Spike wilted a little. He had only seen Twilight get this bad once before, when her mother had died. Given the fate of Queen Crudelis, he knew she wasn't bluffing. He hated seeing her like this, the vengeful queen of the changelings. It was times like that he greatly missed the old days, back when Twilight was still Celestia's star pupil, when they would roam Ponyville and get into all kinds of trouble together. Sometimes, in the present, there was a lot of Queen Chrysalis in Twilight. Kind and benevolent, but with a more severe side, and extremely dangerous to provoke. That was the reality he had to accept. Maybe, once they finally got home and all the horrible business was dealt with, he'd get her to sit down with him so they could read some books together. He knew she'd like that, and it would be nice to see the mare behind the throne again. In truth, it hadn't been that long since it all began. But for Spike, it seemed like a lifetime. Twilight saw Spike staring at her. She sighed, but managed to force a small smile on her face.
"All right. You can stop worrying now, Spike."
Spike blinked. Huh?
"I know that look you're giving me,"
she stated.
"I'll be fine. Once this is all over anyway." "I just don't like seeing you like this,"
he admitted. Twilight outstretched a wing, wrapping it around Spike and pulling him into a wing hug. He gladly accepted, resting his head down onto the ground, pressing affectionately up into Twilight's chest. She couldn't help but gain a far more genuine smile at the sight. No matter how big he got, he'd always be her baby dragon. Nearby, Vladimir, Broadsword, and Shining Armor watched the two from a short distance. The other changelings and ponies were talking amongst each other nearby, but the two captains and the Prince of the Crystal Empire talked amongst themselves off to one corner. "Well, that's cute," Vladimir stated. "A nice little reprieve, I think, after everything." "There's always some light in the darkness," Shining Armor said. "From my experiences, anyway. No matter how bad things get, you'll always pull through." "As long as you have friends and family to pull you through it," Vladimir added. Broadsword nodded. "Agreed. I, for one, am eager to get home to Scarlet and Valiant." Ah, shit, Vladimir suddenly stated. That's not good. Shining Armor and Broadsword looked at him in confusion. Scarlet, Vladimir clarified. We made a promise to all come back intact, and, well, Vladimir wiggled the stump where his right wing used to be. Oh, Broadsword simply stated. Well, I haven't got a scratch, so we might be all right. Vladimir threw him a deadpan look. Well, look at you. I'm so happy you kept your white coat so pristine. Oh, look on the bright side. Mares love scars. Vladimir raised an eyebrow. What about metal wings? Probably. You might actually get yourself a mare at long last. Or a stallion. I don't judge. Vladimir rolled his eyes. Whatever. We actually have to get home first anyway. And we have a lot of waiting to do before our ride gets here. We'd better keep an eye out for those creatures. Or the changelings, Broadsword stated. If they're still about, they'll need our help to land safely. We've been through Tartarus and back as it is, Shining Armor said. We can go through a bit more yet, especially if it means a ride home. The three of them were in total agreement on that point. Luckily, it wouldn't have to come to that. They would wait many hours upon hours, but eventually rescue would come. But during all the time they waited, and even as they boarded their ride home, there was one constant among the group, one simple fact that remained unchanged. The regalia sat silently, for it too was going home.